get your fix.
Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready to get your fix?
With the Wicks here on this beautiful Thursday, March 10th, 2022, and welcome to the show, whether that be on Facebook or on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, hit the like, hit the share. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe. It would be much, much appreciated. So today is obviously another day of watching what the hell is happening in the NFL. Lots of moves have already been made. Mike Williams, wide receiver of the Los Angeles Chargers, signs a 3-year, $60 million deal with, I believe, $40 million of that guaranteed. Obviously, Russell Wilson on the move from Seattle to Denver for a fuckload of picks. Drew Lock, Noah Fant, and Shelby Harris as well as on their way to Seattle in return for, obviously, Russell fucking Wilson. Okay, we talked about it. Not on Justin Herbert. There's also other moves, okay? A big move that was made today. Rodgers returns to Green Bay. Wow. I mean, we were hoping so, and it came to fruition, obviously. Then they end up franchise tagging Davante Adams because they were not going to be able to sign Davante Adams to a contract extension. Just wasn't in the realm of possibility, being that they are currently $49 million over the cap space, and I believe that now is added on, or that cap space includes Davante Adams' franchise tag value or price or whatever it is at this point. So lots of moves have been made, and obviously they have about a week, I think, left of this kind of got to get under the cap space time zone, basically. Every team has to get under the cap space, which is posted at $208 million, which is huge. The first time that the NFL cap space has been over $200 million in the history of the National Football League. So that is absolutely amazing. Obviously, COVID took a hit of that, where it was at 195 or 198, $198 million or something like that. And then it dropped down to $185 million. Now it's back up to well over $200 million. So with more moves happening, obviously releasing some people, signing some people, going out and franchise taking people is now officially over and done with. That happened on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So now we kind of basically just look forward to more trades, more signings, more contract extensions, more, hey, we got to restructure you because we are way too high in the cap space or way too over the cap space. We got to fix that. So we got to fucking reconstruct your contract, and then you can come back to the team and, how you doing, keep it moving. But before we talk about the National Football League and the news that surrounds it, the MLB, Major League Baseball, is back, baby. So yesterday, I guess probably earlier this week or February 28th, the MLB commissioner, Rob Manfred, came out and said, hey, listen, we were unable to reach an agreement with a collective bargaining agreement, so we are going to be canceling the first two series of Major League Baseball, and then walked off stage. Time kind of goes on. They're still arguing, bickering back and forth. Hey, we need this money. We want this money. This is what we think we deserve. This is what we should earn. This is all of the stuff that we think we need as a player, or as the player association. Yesterday, they came out with some more news. Well, guess what? We are canceling 2 more series of Major League Baseball. So that's 4 series in total getting canceled. Well, I'm sure that raised some eyebrows of all the players around. Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw, all those big-time names. They probably were chilling, relaxing with their family, and then all of a sudden, 2 more fucking series. You kidding me? That's about 12 games at minimum. You're looking at about 15 games maximum that we won't get to play. This kind of stinks. Okay, we need our money. We need to figure something out. And then today, finally the news that Major League Baseball is back, that the MLB, the Major League Baseball, and the Major League Baseball Players Association have reached a tentative agreement on a new labor deal. Now, obviously, some things have to get worked out. Some tinkering needs to be done for this to actually happen. But guess what, folks? Major League Baseball is officially back in the works. Spring training should be right around the corner, being that it probably should have already started, or they should already be down there in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, doing their thing. And I believe Arizona is another location where they have spring training that takes place. That's going to pick up very, very quickly. And not only that, we got baseball back finally, right? Well, then we also have the NFL draft right around the corner. And then right after that, we got the USFL, which their first game is April 16th between the Birmingham Stallions and the New Jersey Generals, in which I will be covering the United States Football League the entire season. There's, I think, 10 weeks. If I'm not mistaken, I've seen the Michigan Panthers schedule as on their Instagram. So I think 10 weeks. You play each person in your division twice, and you play 2 outside. So you play 4 outside fucking leagues or teams or whatever that's outside of your division. I think that's how it was. I'm pretty sure it was 10 weeks. No bye week. So I'm pumped for that. But another thing. I'm sure we're all excited to get our brackets out, start filling them in, and start gambling on some basketball games. The NCAA March Madness is about to take place, and I am excited, even though, hey, I'll put together about 5 brackets, and I guarantee you not a single one of them will look pretty, okay? I usually hit on a couple of them, but when you start trying to figure out what the upset might be and where the upsets are, gets a little dirty, okay? And I'm not that solid at making those picks, but it's a fun time because it actually makes you want to watch basketball, right? If you're not a basketball fan, I think everybody knows what March Madness is. I think everybody knows that, hey, we can go make some money on March Madness. Let's fill out a fucking bracket. Who gives a shit? Let's just write, we got Wisconsin versus, I don't know, just the name, Purdue. Well, I'm going to take Wisconsin just because, all right? Just because. You never know. Might make some money. So this is a very exciting time for sports in the United States, in the world in general. I'm excited. I'm pumped up for it, but the NFL is still cooking. There's still news to be had. There's still information to be talked about. There's a lot going on, obviously, with releasing and signing and stuff like that. So let's get to it. Are you ready to get your fix? So yesterday, I believe it was, we sat down and we talked about Bobby Wagner getting released by the Seattle Seahawks. What the fuck are we doing? Let's trade Russell Wilson, the number 1 quarterback that we've ever had in our franchise, basically. Give him to Denver. Let's bring in Drew Lock. Drew Lock and Noah Fant, think that's perfect. We got a couple picks that we're going to have to decide what we're going to do with that. By the way, one of the picks we got is this year's 9th overall pick. We're probably going to take a quarterback. If I had to guess, they're going to go Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis, who a lot of people have Malik Willis going 2nd in this year's draft for the Detroit Lions. Look, that ain't going to happen. I don't see that happening at all. Jared Goff is worth a lot of money and is, a big amount of the cap space there for the Detroit Lions. So don't expect the Lions to go make a blockbuster fucking move or a blockbuster trade to get Malik Willis. But obviously there's Malik Willis, Sam Howell, Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral, Desmond Ridder. I mean, the list kind of goes on for the amount of quarterbacks that are in this draft. And for those of you that think, well, there's not really that many good quarterbacks in this draft class. Yes, there is. There's plenty of them. If you watch the scouting combine, when the quarterbacks, the tight ends, and the wide receiver had their day, the first day, Thursday, you would know that. You would understand that. We got some guys in that quarterback room. Now, obviously, some of them won't pan out. There's going to be some busts, but some of them might have a successful career in the NFL. And I honestly do believe We got a good group. We got a good, solid group at quarterback coming in. But that's besides the fact. So Seattle trades fucking Russell Wilson away, gets the draft picks, gets the players. Then on the same day, less than, 10 hours, 12 hours, Seattle decides, you know what? Let's get Bobby Wagner out of town. Let's kind of restart this whole thing. Let's get it right back at square one. Okay, ground zero. And then make some moves financially. Let's try to get some dogs in here. Let's see what we can get. See if we can get this organization headed in the right direction. All right, well, sure, I guess. If I'm the GM, well, I'm not the GM, but if I was the GM or the owner, there's no way after trading Russell am I letting Bobby Wagner, the best linebacker potentially in the National Football League, has the most tackles since 2005 or 2006, whatever it was, and he hasn't, he started the first time he got drafted in the league, or when he got drafted, I don't know why I said that, but when he got drafted was 2012, so, just take that in mind. There's no way I'm going to let this guy walk out of our building, potentially the best player we've ever had in our organization, potentially. That's just up for debate, obviously. No way I'm letting him walk out after I just got rid of Russell Wilson. Just not happen. Especially when Pete Carroll and basically everyone in that organization said, we are not going to rebuild. Okay, it's just not we're not going to do that. We're going to go out there, we're going to try to win ball games with the team we got. We're going to build around the team we got, add pieces to it where needed. And now they fucking did a whole 180. Things are completely switched over. Russell's gone. Bobby Wagner's gone. They don't have a defense. Their offense only has DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson, Rashad Penny. Cool. Can't do much with just a couple wide receivers and running back. You're going to get a few yards, obviously, just here and there, but you're not going to do much. And quite frankly, I don't think DK Metcalf is going to be relevant the next couple of years. And I say that because he started taking shots at Shannon Sharpe, and since he did that, his stat line was not up to par, I guess. I don't know what to say, but he can prove me wrong, and I hope he does. But with the situation that he's currently dealing with, I highly doubt that will be the case. He's got Drew Lock throwing in the ball. Denver tried to make it work. They said, no, we're going to go get Teddy fucking Bridgewater, bring him in the house, bring him in the building, build this organization back up to what it should be and what it should have always been. Well, Teddy goes down with an injury. Let's bring in Drew Lock again because obviously he's our backup. We need to have him go onto the field when our starter is hurt. Okay, that's just plain and simple. And, wasn't the greatest showcase of his skills out there. So then they go right back to Teddy Bridgewater when he's healthy, ready to rock and roll. But now the talk of the town is, what is Bobby Wagner going to do with his future? Where is he going to end up? Because a lot of teams are obviously going to be tripping over themselves to try to sign this superstar linebacker who has, I believe, an 8-time first-team All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler. Dude's a menace on the football field. Everyone's going to want this dude on their roster, on their team. And now reports are coming out saying, hey, Bobby Wagner just might stay in the NFC West. All 3 teams in that division are ready to make an offer, are ready to start talking numbers, are ready to try to bring him into their organization, a.k.a. the Arizona Cardinals, the San Francisco 49ers, the Los Angeles Rams, who, by the way, Von Miller, he's a free agent, he's out of town. You bring in fucking Bobby Wagner, that's a big upgrade, in my opinion. That's a massive upgrade. But then I looked at this, and I read that, and I was like, no shit. Every team in the NFL is going to want to, or is going to be ready to have a number, put up a number, dollar amount for Bobby Wagner. It's just how it's going to be. Every single team, if there's a team out there that says, no, we don't want him. We don't want him. Don't believe it. Do not believe it for 1 second. I don't care if they're $49 million over the cap space or not. Every team is looking at him like, we need to get this guy, like, instantly. Whatever we can do, let's try to make it work. Let's get this guy in the building, because he instantly makes our defense that better. He instantly makes our team, our organization that much better. And there's not a single team in the NFL who I don't think would want or would not want to take a chance on him. Every team would want to do that. Get Bobby Wagner in the building. But it's interesting. If he does stay in the NFC West, I kind of feel that's more of like a, hey, Seattle, fuck you. All right? That's basically what I'm seeing this as. Because he sent out that heartfelt message, hey, thank you, Seattle, for everything, blah, blah, blah. We all read it on Twitter. So he loved Seattle as an organization. Obviously, that was the organization he's been playing for his entire career. So if he stays in that organization, he goes to the Rams, for instance, wins a Super Bowl, a team that just got done winning a Super Bowl. If he goes over there and they end up winning another Super Bowl, that's kind of smacking him off right to the Seattle Seahawks. If he goes to Arizona, who had an unbelievable start to their season, 7-0, and then they lose to Green Bay Packers, in which, by the way, I called that 2 weeks prior, actually, so thank you very much. But they could instantly be good, because Chandler Jones, he's going to be out of the building. The 49ers went to the NFC Championship game. And they've been in the playoffs for the last 3 to 4 years. They went to a Super Bowl not too long ago because of their defense and the way they ran the ball. Just imagine if they found some way to bring Bobby Wagner in with Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, and we'll get to his brother and towards the end of the show in a little bit, not too long, okay? But Nick Bosa. Who's the other guys? Yeah, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner out there. There's freaks on that team. I mean, they have a very, very star-studded team, in my opinion. In my eyes, they have a really solid defense. They have a solid offense. The way they play call is pretty, it's okay. Not the greatest thing in the world. Obviously, you want a new quarterback, but that quarterback is going to be Trey Lance, if I had to guess. Jimmy Garoppolo is probably going to be on his way out. But if you add him to any one of those three teams, Seattle's got to be kind of kicking themselves in the ass a little bit. I mean, why? Why would you let go of an 8-time All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler, leading tackler in your franchise's history, I believe, leading tackler in the NFL since 2006, in which he wasn't drafted until 2012? It's just not good business. That's poor business. It's awful. I honestly can't believe they decided to let him go. And yeah, I understand it clears $16.6 million in cap space, but they didn't need to do that. Right now, Seattle has the second most cap space in the NFL at $51.3 million, almost $51.4 million. Take away $16 million of that, you're looking at sixth most, seventh most cap space in the NFL still. Like that move was not needed unless they feel like there's better options in free agency, better options in this year's draft. So literally my mind's blown, and people are saying, "Oh, they're not gonna they're not rebuilding. They got a bunch in return. They're gonna be fine." No, that's the definition of rebuilding. Get rid of all your superstars so you can have a little bit of everything. New team, new identity. Rookies are in the building now, are going to be. Drew Lock is new to the team. Noah Fant's new to the team. Shelby Harris is new to the team. That's rebuilding. You're starting from scratch. You're starting over, except, you obviously have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Well, if you get rid of them, then 100%, it's definitely rebuilding. But I look at this as, okay, we need to find a quarterback now. We need to find a linebacker who is like Bobby Wagner, but not Bobby Wagner. Okay, so why'd you release him? And we also got to figure out our cornerbacks. We got to figure out our safeties. I think they have Jamal Adams still, so he's probably like, what is going on? Okay, I just left the Jets to come to Seattle to potentially chase a ring with Russell, with Bobby, with these, superstars, and now I'm the only one left. What's going on? So I bet he's not happy. The offense is probably not happy. Like, the whole situation in Seattle just kind of blows my mind, and I don't know what is going on. But hey, Bobby Wagner's going to go somewhere, whether that's the NFC West or another division. He's going to land somewhere, and he's going to land somewhere fast. I mean, he's one of 11 linebackers in NFL history to have 6+ first-team All-Pros. In NFL history, just think about how many linebackers have played in the NFL. And only 11 of them have had 6+ first-team All-Pro, and he's one of them. And Seattle said, "See you later, pal." Doesn't make any sense. I'll never get it. I'll never understand it, because that's a guy you want to keep on your team. That's a guy that you want to keep on your franchise, because he automatically makes you that much better. So whatever they wanted to do, it is what it is. But on some other news, some interesting news. I don't know why I felt like bringing this up, but I felt like bringing this up. And Jerry Jones is kind of taking some heat right now. And it's shocking, sorta, because I look at the Cowboys as the entertainment team. Not America's team, the entertainment team, because they make a bunch of noise. You see them on social media all about blah, blah, blah. They got the roster around them. They're building up. They got Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, not Amari Cooper probably, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb. Their defenses, hey, Leighton Vander Esch, Trevon Diggs, Micah Parsons. We're the Cowboys. We're America's team. We're going to go win a Super Bowl. Never the case, okay? Never the case. They get so far, and then things just fucking crumble in front of them. They don't ever win anything, okay? So they're the entertainment team. So I find this is another little bit of an entertainment little piece from the Cowboys. So Jerry Jones is getting sued by a woman who alleges that he's her father and that her mother signed a confidentiality agreement on her behalf when she was 1 year old. Interesting. Well, Jerry, you might have to fork up some money, in which, by the way, the Cowboys are still about $9 million over the cap space, even though that has nothing to do with the money that he's going to have to pay this woman. Maybe. Who knows? But I think she's going to lose this. Unless a DNA test has to be involved or some nonsense. But she was 1 year old when this girl, or when her mom signed this confidentiality on her behalf. Okay? You were not able to understand that. Sorry about it. But he is not your father. Even though he might be. I don't know. I just thought it was pretty interesting to have the entertainment team back in the program a little bit more, because, man, Jerry's getting up there. Okay, Jerry's getting up there, and sooner or later he's going to have to hand the business over to Stephen Jones, okay? And I'm sure she's going to be fucking furious. That should be my team. I'm your daughter. Oh, he's my son. Okay, so see ya. But interesting enough, he's going to get sued. We'll see how far it goes. Won't cover it too much. Just thought it was kind of interesting. But let's move over to some real news. Okay, because that, it was just, I don't know. It was just a little funny little thing, I guess. I don't know. But the Bills are making an interesting move. They are signing or re-signing wide receiver Jake Kumaro to a 1 year deal. Which kind of tells me right off the bat that the Bills aren't going to go seek a wide receiver in this year's draft. They don't need to. Don't get me wrong. Okay? Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders, they are studs. Cole Beasley, they gave him permission to go seek a trade. So I think this is kind of like saving their butt on the depth chart a little bit, but it tells me that they are not going to be pursuing a wide receiver at the extent that I think a lot of us believe that they would, or all the insiders are saying that we expect them to kind of go get a wide receiver, another one to amp up the production of Stephon Diggs and Emmanuel Sanders, make that offense a little bit more Chiefs-like or powerful. You know what I'm saying? But there's no way this guy, there's no way this guy, he's a practice squad player, for fuck's sakes. Last year, he played 15 out of the 17 games. He had 2 catches for 28 yards. I mean, yeah, production's there, 14 yards a catch, good for him, but they don't use the dude. So, I mean, this might be just kind of, saving him a little bit, kind of having that depth chart flexibility there, which would be good. Obviously, this year's wide receiver class is, there's a list of them. There's a long list of them, but what do I know? I just think this is the Bills kind of saying, like, we're not going to go after a wide receiver quite yet. And obviously, Amari Cooper, he's going to hit the market very, very soon. I'm not really sure from what I've seen, he hasn't been released yet. But when he does, he's going to be a highly sought after candidate, even though he's going to be expensive. But he has multiple 1,000-yard seasons. He's 27 years old. He's in the prime of his career. He's ready to rock and roll. And Dallas said, "All right, you can. We're gonna get you out of town. Okay, we don't want you here no more." So the Bills re-signed wide receiver Jake Kumerow. On another note, not so happy note, the Tennessee Titans are parting ways with Pro Bowl guard Roger Saffold, which saves about $10.4 million in cap. So I understand why they kind of did it, but at the same time, like, what are you releasing him for? What do you just think Derrick Henry's going to run through every single person regardless of the type of line you got? I kind of feel like you might need this offensive lineman, this offensive guard in your organization, especially if you're going to stick with Ryan Tannehill. If you're not going to stick with Ryan Tannehill, where's he going? Okay, because obviously we still got Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Jimmy Garoppolo, Mitch. There's a whole list of these quarterbacks. Nick Foles is one of them as well that can go anywhere and seek a new team. So what's going to happen with that front? I don't know. They got Julio Jones and A.J. Brown to throw the ball to. I feel like that'd be a very luxurious spot to go to. But you want to protect whoever's coming there, and getting rid of a Pro Bowl guard, a guy who's been there for quite some time, made a lot of fucking money. $10.4 million in cap space. That's pretty good. And by the way, in 3 years with the Tennessee Titans, he started 46 out of the possible 49 games that he could. He's very reliable. He stays healthy. And he's a Pro Bowler. At offensive line. Like, you get an offensive lineman, a good one, you keep him. You don't get rid of him. You keep this man. Now, obviously, with all these releasings, they have, I believe, they have until July 15th or June 15th, one of those dates. I know it's a 15th. To get a deal done, or a long-term contract extension done. So yeah, they got the franchise tag, but then they're going to have that long-term contract extension, which will start, I think, the year after or something, if I'm correct. So it'll be interesting to see what the Titans do, because obviously they were in the fold, supposedly in the fold for Aaron Rodgers. Wasn't the case. I think that was just in the back of everybody's mind because he went out in Nashville and bought a plot of land. Come on. Like, that, no. He did that, but it's not for a specific reason at all. At least I don't think so. At least that's what Rodgers has made it seem like. Like, he just bought it because he wants to maybe go do something fun there. Maybe he wants to hunt there. Maybe he wants to have a golf course there. Or who knows what he wants to do out there if he bought that. Or maybe he bought it just in case because he never knew or he didn't know. But he does ultimately know that he's going back to Green Bay Packers. But in other news around the NFL, news that I'm kind of, sick and tired of hearing about, Colin Kaepernick is back in NFL news. And I don't know what to think about this other than why. I think we've all heard enough. We've all seen enough. The dude, I don't know. I understand the whole, kneeling and stuff like that. I understand why he did it and all that. He did it he did it at the right time, obviously. But I do also think that he did it in the wrong time in the context that we weren't as the United States, like, we weren't all together on what his beliefs were. And now I think we're all kind of in the same realm of what he did and why he did it. But since then, he had multiple chances to come back. He even had a workout set up for him to perform in front of NFL scouts. Remember, this was a whole big ordeal. I mean, this was going to be televised nationally so that every person, every fan organization had the chance and the opportunity to see what Colin Kaepernick potentially still looks like. He gets there and he says, no. We're going to go do this on my own field with my cameras because this is about me. And if the nation is getting to see this, you guys aren't going to make any money from it. This is me going to be making money from it off my social media platforms because I'm all about me. Me. If you guys are thinking Aaron Rodgers is selfish, no. Colin Kaepernick is selfish. He's a selfish prick. I mean, it's plain and simple. What else do you want? And now we got information saying, let me find it right here. Adam Schefter tweeted at Adam Schefter on Twitter. He says, Colin Kaepernick is still working out and is said to be, in the words of one source, in the best shape of his life. They said that the last fucking 2-3 times, okay? That's not going to sway anybody. He wants to play. No shit. A lot of people would want to play in the NFL, okay? You don't see me going out there throwing the rock and saying, hey, I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm in the best shape of my life, all right? 25 years old, almost at my prime, or 24 years old, almost at my prime. I got a lot left in the tank. You want to come watch me throw the ball? I mean, I'm ready to rock and roll. You don't, even though, I mean, come on, that's a long example. It's not a good example, but you get what I'm trying to say there. He's ready to play. Are you sure? Didn't seem like it when he had his whole press conference and his whole scouting little ordeal kind of happened. Didn't seem like he was ready to play, because if he was ready to play, he would have went and done the workout in front of the scouts with NFL cameras there, NFL films there, to get a legit look. But since he pulled the whole, no, not going to do it. We're going to go do this at my field with my cameras, and if you guys want to come watch me, you can come and do so. Because you should already want me. He's a fucking diva. This dude, he would be a great fit for teams with quarterback vaccines to fill, vacancies. Read that wrong. To fill who want to win a Super Bowl. I'm going to tell you right now, no way Colin Kaepernick goes on a team and instantly makes them a Super Bowl ready team. Not possible. He's been out of the NFL for what? 5-6 years at this point? Get over it, dude. Your time was then, and your time is definitely not now. All right? Stop with all this nonsense. Stop trying to say, I'm ready to play. I think I can do it this time. I'm in the best shape of my life. Watch all these videos that I'm going to go put out for the next fucking 2 weeks before the NFL draft, because he's done this every single year that he's been out of the NFL, because he really wants another chance to play in the NFL and to prove the haters wrong. Well, guess what? You're not going to get that chance because you haven't played in the NFL for that long, and who knows what you're going to be able to do when you hit the field. Who says you're better than the rookies that are in the draft coming in this year? Who says? Oh, I have all these stats. Who gives a shit? That was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it was. You start at ground zero, fella. You have 0 stats now. 0 passing yards, even though in reality he would. But you're back at 0. I hate it. I hate this nonsense. I'm so done with it. Every single year before the draft, he comes out and has this whole big old spiel because he knows NFL teams are going to bite at, they're going to be like, oh, wait, man, he's ready? Didn't he go to a Super Bowl one year? I mean, he was a stud. We should try to get him in the building. We should see. No? Okay, well, let's keep an eye on him. Let's keep an eye on him. If we can't find our quarterback, let's keep an eye on him. Let's see what we got working with. And then ultimately, as this, the whole offseason kind of goes on, the draft is over and done with, teams have their quarterbacks, and the teams that don't have their quarterbacks end up going to sign free agents. They sign Ryan Fitzpatrick before him. I guarantee you they'll sign Josh McCown before him. I guarantee you they'll sign Nick Foles, Andy Dalton, Mitchell Trubisky. They'll sign multiple people before they'll even go sign Colin Kaepernick. And that's the reason he needs to quit with the bullshit and quit with the nonsense, because he's never going to be back in the NFL, and if he does, I'll eat my words. But I'm done with it. I don't want to see it no more. And I guarantee this is going to be a story for the next fucking week and a half. And it's going to be just grinds my gears. I'm so, you're washed, dude. Plain and simple. You haven't played in the NFL, okay? It's just not going to happen. I just thought I should bring that to you guys. But in other news, and some shocking news, the Chicago Bears have decided to trade superstar linebacker, pass rusher Khalil Mack to the Los Angeles Chargers. And let me tell you, folks, that AFC West division is going to be electrifying to watch. Russell Wilson is now a Denver Bronco. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, we know what they've been able to do the past couple of years, okay? Derek Carr and the Raiders, they're always that kind of black or dark horse that, really doesn't, you don't think they're going to do something, and all of a sudden, bam, we're in the playoffs. How you doing? Keep it moving. And then now, we got the Los Angeles Chargers with Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, who just signed a 3-year, $60 million contract, $40 million guaranteed, with Austin Eckler in the backfield. Their defense is now going to be, just stacked. Joey Bosa on one end, Khalil fucking Mack on the other end. Derwin James is out there. Give it a rest. The NFC West is now transitioning into the AFC West. The AFC West is the new division of the NFL, the best division, the hardest division I feel like to win in, just because of this trade. The Russell Wilson trade definitely helped, but because of this trade, AFC West, like all the insiders are saying, Field Yates, Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, whatever they're saying, hey, listen, the AFC West is going to be the most looked at and most watched division in football this next season, and guess what? I'm right on that bandwagon, because it's going to be fucking electrifying. New faces and new places. What are the Chiefs going to do with their offensive line, their running back situation? They could go get a running back, and I'd expect that to happen. They re-signed Josh Gordon. Obviously, they still have Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, but do they add another weapon at wide receiver, or do they worry about their defense because Tyrann Mathieu might be on his way out, or he is on his way out, or something like that? So, it's going to be very, very interesting, and that division is going to be fun to witness. That is going to be awesome. The NFL next year, I say this every year because, there's just trade after trade after trade after release after sign. It's like, whoa, so much newness. This is going to be cool to witness. But, this year, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun one, folks. Tom Brady no longer in the NFL. What are you doing, dude? Jeez Louise. Look, Saints are going to look the same. The Cowboys are definitely not going to look the same. They'll have Dak and Zeke still. The Denver Broncos aren't going to look the same. The Seattle Seahawks aren't going to look the same. The Los Angeles Chargers aren't really going to look the same. The Chicago Bears are not going to look the same. Every team literally is not going to look the same. And that's because every single year you're not going to play with the same 53 people that you have that specific year. It's just not going to happen. But also we have new referees that are going to have to step up and have a major role in the outcome of games, obviously. And we all know what the refs did this year. But the Chargers are sending a second-round pick in the 2022 draft, so this year's draft, and a sixth-round draft pick in the 2023 draft to get Khalil Mack from the Chicago Bears. Now, what this obviously means is that the Chargers are going to take on all of Khalil Mack's contract, which is the 3 years, $63.9 million contract. And the Bears will take on $24 million in dead money, in dead money, basically, because that's what they would have to pay him. I believe that's the guaranteed portion of whatever it is. So when you get guaranteed money, I believe that team has to pay you that no matter what. And I believe he also probably had a no-trade clause in there. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of weird how it all works out. But, hey, let's see right here. At My Sports Update said this. Okay, Ari Mirov on Twitter. Outlook for the hashtag Bears. They're entering an offseason with a new GM and head coach. They don't have a first-round pick. Khalil Mack is 31 and just missed 10 games. They might not be a full reset, but they realize they have to look towards the future. 2023 is when the money frees up. So I think this deal was kind of saying like, hey, we need some more money in about 2 years or so, in about a year. Hey, we're going to have a lot of it if we get rid of Khalil fucking Mack. Let's go give him to the Chargers, okay? Let's make that division exciting to watch because we're not going to be excited to watch. Allen Robinson, he's a free agent. See you later. Didn't get franchise tagged. I mean, wow. Bad on the Bears, honestly. Yeah, he did miss 10 games this year, but guess what? What if he comes back and is completely healthy, ready to rock and roll, and now him and Joey Bosa? Chargers are setting up real nice, and they're ready to make a run. I mean, they've been so close the past couple of years. Last year, they were one game away from potentially going to the playoffs. Raiders beat them in overtime, but Justin Herbert had a phenomenal, I mean, that drive, I think it was eight straight fourth down completions, and on the ninth one is when they stopped, and that's when the game was over and done with. So, I mean, they have a team that's ready to go, and they're ready to go now with a young head coach in Brandon Staley, and obviously the roster that they have built. I'm excited for it. The AFC West is going to be electrifying to watch. Derek Carr and the Raiders, Russell Wilson and the Broncos, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and now Joey Bosa, Justin Herbert, and Khalil Mack with the Chargers. I'm ready for it. I hope you guys are as well. So that is all I have for you guys today on the show. Thank you so much for watching, whether that be on Facebook or on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, do me a favor, hit the like and hit the share. It would be much appreciated. On YouTube, hey, hit the subscribe. It'd be awesome as well. Have a great rest of your day. We will be back here in studio with guest host on a Friday Football Talk, Y-4, or John, whatever you guys like to call him. It's going to be exciting. We're going to have a long conversation about Aaron Rodgers and his decision. I want to see what John's thinking. I want to see other, I want to pick his brain a little bit of all these trades that have already happened and get his thoughts. So that'll be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there. And you just got your fix with the Wicks. Deuces, folks.